When I was 5 years old, I used to love to play. And my first toy was actually a Barbie. And that Barbie came all the way from Canada because we had family that emigrated there during the communist regime. So it was a very exotic toy in Romania, and all my friends were like, wow, you have a Barbie. And I loved my Barbie. But after a while, I got bored with the Barbie, and my grandmother was a tailor. So I started taking all the fabrics of my grandmother and give my Barbie a more personal touch. Made her look more like the Romanian girls that were around me. Another emblematic toy for me was a Lego box. I used to love the Lego because I could play together with my brother. And we could build absolutely anything. And the good news is that our father used to play as well. The only difference is that his Lego box looked a bit like this. This is my father's shop, and me and my brother used to love to spend all the afternoons in here and build things together with him. And at the time, I was wondering, is it normal for me as a girl to want to build things and to like tools and to spend so much time in a tool shop because all my other friends were just playing with dolls? So I started wondering what other kids were playing with. So I want to ask you, what was your favorite toy when you were young? Okay. And did you ever borrow toys from your brother or your sister? Raise your hands if you borrow a toy. Okay. Did your parents encourage you to borrow the toys? Yeah, I think that's important because I think playing when we are young shapes the way we see the difference in genders when we become adults. And if we look at the toys' history and evolution, in the 50s and 60s, we had so many choices. From plasticine to Lego to yo-yo, we could play together, boys and girls. But over time, the division between toys for boys and toys for girls has become extreme. So today, we have this. We have on one side Hello Kitty, which I know is big here in Spain, and on the other side, Transformers. So can you imagine that these children don't have a choice? When they play, the decision is already made for them what they should play with in the design of these toys. And this gives them a very narrow vision of what a little girl is and what she plays with, and what a little boy is and what he plays with. And this also shapes the way they see things when they become adults. So what we can do about this? Well, can we do something about this? There are several initiatives. This is one of them. It's called Goldie Box. It was a very successful Kickstarter campaign. And it's a kit that allows children to learn programming and science by doing. Another toy manufacturer from Sweden has launched a whole line of neutral gender toys. And this is also our mission at Hackidemia. Hackidemia is a global organization I co-founded together with friends. And what we do is that we go around the world and we organize hands-on workshops with children and young people and parents so they can play together and they can create their own toys. They can learn by programming, by doing all sorts of robots, by doing crafting, by working with wood. And I wanted to share some stories from Hackidemia so you can see what happens when girls and boys play together. So here's Emma. She's 6 years old, and this was in Berlin. She's soldering. She's 6 years old, and she's soldering. And her parents were looking at me very scared, like, oh my God. And her brother was so surprised, and she spent 3 hours building this sound-to-light unit. And then after a while, her parents actually called me, like, where can we buy a soldering iron? And this happened actually last week in Budapest. We did workshops with teenagers, and they took an old webcam, because we have lots of those and we throw them away, and transformed it into a microscope. And after that, the boys and the girls sat around the table and they were like, what can we do with this? Okay, let's go around the city and measure the quality of the water we are drinking and the quality of the water we have in the city. And we also had examples of children in Nigeria. You heard Joyce earlier talking about the need and the emergency of changing education there. We had children in Nigeria that built toys from trash, things we actually throw away. They built amazing toys. So because it's really hard to put in words the energy and the joy that we experience when we do these workshops, I wanted to share a video with you. So I wanted you to understand that today we have the opportunity of choosing what we play with. And yeah, this. You have to do this. You have to dream big together with your children. And I want you to take home 3 things. I want you to understand that you can actually change the difference between the toys that are given to your children. And you can contact these toys manufacturers and ask them to build more diverse toys. There is actually a petition online signed by more than 3,000 parents that is asking for this. You can also think about what I said earlier. Next time you're going to buy a toy for your children or your friends' children. And third, most important, starting from today, you can go home and make things and play together with your children. And especially with Christmas coming, don't spend all your money on toys that are already so, stereotyped. Make your own games, make your own toys together with your children. And to end the story, you remember that little girl that was playing when she was 5 years old? She couldn't stand today in front of you if her parents and her brother wouldn't have exposed her to so many different things. I couldn't be here today if I didn't have that exposure as a child. So you as adults, as uncles, as fathers, mothers, parents, you have the responsibility to give your children a choice of being exposed to diversity, of having a whole human experience. If you play together, so will they. Thank you.